The Rodest cat. No one in Kharwood remembered when the cat first appeared. Some said it crawled out of the old drainage tunnels beneath the slaughterhouse. Others whispered it was born during the night the plague rats died screaming in the streets, their bodies split open as if something had chewed its way out from the inside. What everyone agreed on was this: once the cat arrived, nothing in the town felt clean again. At first, it looked like a normal stray, thin, gray, and hunched, but something about the way it moved made people uneasy. Its spine arched unnaturally, as though its bones were too many or bent the wrong way. Its tail dragged like a dead thing, hairless and pink, twitching in sharp, nervous spasms. Children stopped playing when it passed. Dogs whimpered and pulled at their chains. The cat's eyes were the worst, small, black, and shining like wet holes drilled into its skull, never blinking, always watching. Rashid was the first to follow it. He worked nights at the grain mill and had grown used to rats, fat, bloated creatures that skittered across the floors and chewed through sacks like living knives. But this cat hunted them differently. It didn't pounce or chase. It waited. It would sit absolutely still, sometimes for hours, as if carved from stone, until the rats grew curious. Then, when they came close, the cat would open its mouth impossibly wide, jaw stretching and cracking, and emit a sound that was not a meow but a thin, whistling shriek. The rats would freeze, trembling, before collapsing as if their spines had snapped. Only then would the cat move in, tearing them apart with teeth that looked too long, too crowded, like needles stuffed into rotten gums. Rashid told people about it. They laughed. Until the rats started disappearing, not just from the mill, but from everywhere. The streets grew quiet. The scratching in the walls stopped. For a week, the town celebrated. For the second week, people began hearing new sounds. Scraping, soft chewing, and something that sounded disturbingly like breathing inside the walls. The cat began to change. Its fur fell out in patches, revealing pale, veiny skin beneath. Small lumps moved under its flesh, wriggling as if something else lived inside it. When it walked, it left behind damp footprints that smelled of rotten old blood. People noticed its shadow no longer matched its body. Sometimes it looked larger, hunched and swollen. Other times, it crawled low to the ground, its shadow splitting into many thin shapes, like tails or whiskers reaching for the light. One night, the baker found it in his shop. The door had been locked. The windows unbroken. Yet the cat sat on the counter, licking its paws with slow, deliberate movements. Around it lay dozens of dead mice, arranged in a circle, their heads missing. The baker tried to scream, but the cat looked up, and in its eyes he saw reflections of tunnels, endless, wet tunnels filled with gnawing teeth and chittering voices. He felt something crawl in his throat, something sharp and hungry. By morning, the baker was dead, his mouth stuffed with straw and rat bones, his face frozen in an expression of absolute terror. The town elders ordered the cat killed. Traps were set, poison laid out. Men with sticks and knives patrolled the streets at night. But the cat was always one step ahead. Traps were found sprung and filled with shredded rats instead. Poisoned meat vanished, leaving behind piles of teeth arranged in strange symbols. The men began to disappear, first one, then another, leaving behind only gnawed boots and blood trails that led into drains too small for a human body. Children started having nightmares. They dreamed of a mother cat made of bones, nursing dozens of hairless, rat-like kittens that squealed in human voices. They dreamed of tunnels opening beneath their beds, whiskers brushing their ankles, and a warm, wet breath whispering their names. Some woke up with bite marks on their feet. Some never woke up at all. Anila, the schoolteacher, tried to leave town. Her bags were packed. The bus was waiting. But as she stepped outside, she saw the cat sitting in the middle of the road, blocking her path. It was bigger now, much bigger. Its belly dragged along the ground, distended and twitching. Its mouth hung open, drool dripping onto the asphalt, and inside it she saw not a tongue, but dozens of tiny, writhing shapes, pink and blind, gnashing their teeth. The cat spoke, not with words, but with sounds that crawled directly into her mind. Images flooded her thoughts. Rats devouring corpses, cities collapsing into sewers, humans reduced to food. She understood then, the cat was not hunting rats. It was gathering them, merging with them, becoming something ancient, something that had lived beneath civilizations long before humans learned to fear the dark. Anila dropped her bags. When she looked up again, the cat was gone. The bus driver refused to wait any longer. No one ever left Kharwood after that. The final night came quietly. The ground trembled as tunnels collapsed and reformed beneath the town. Houses sank. Streets cracked open. From every shadow emerged shapes, half cat, half rat things, their bodies fused, their eyes glowing with the same black shine. At their center stood the Rodest cat, enormous now, its body a living nest of bones, fur, and teeth, its shadow covering the moon. As the town was swallowed, the cat let out a sound, not a shriek, not a roar, but a satisfied purr, deep and endless, echoing through the tunnels of the earth. Far away, in another town, people began noticing that their rats were disappearing. And somewhere, in the darkness beneath their feet, something hungry was learning how to walk upright. The world did not notice when Kharwood vanished. Maps still showed its name. Roads still curved toward the place where the town had once stood. But travelers who followed those roads found only cracked earth, sinking ground, and a smell like damp fur mixed with decay. Radios failed there. Compasses spun uselessly. At night, the land pulsed softly, as if something enormous slept beneath the soil, breathing slow and deep. Beneath the ruins, the Rodest cat ruled. The tunnels had grown wider, reinforced with gnawed bones and packed earth slick with slime. They were alive. The walls twitched. Whisker-like roots brushed against anything that passed. Rats, thousands of them, moved in organized waves, their bodies fused in places, eyes stitched shut with scarred tissue, mouths permanently open in silent screams. They were no longer animals. They were extensions of something greater. At the center of it all lay the nest. The Rodest cat no longer resembled a cat. Its body had stretched into a massive, swollen shape, half buried in the tunnel floor, ribs exposed and bending outward like the bars of a cage. Inside its chest cavity, things moved, rats crawling in and out, nursing from blackened veins, chewing at its flesh without resistance. Its head remained feline, but the skull had split and reformed, allowing multiple jaws to open sideways, vertically, impossibly. Its purring shook the tunnels like distant thunder. And still, it was not complete. It needed witnesses. Survivors had not all died that night. Some had been taken. Farid woke chained to a pipe, his feet submerged in shallow water that rippled with movement. He tried to scream, but something was wrong with his mouth. His tongue felt heavy, swollen. When he spat, teeth fell out instead of saliva, tiny teeth, not his own. Around him, others were waking, their eyes wide with horror as they realized the same truth. The rats had marked them. Every few minutes, the tunnels echoed with scraping sounds. Shapes emerged, rodent things walking upright, their backs hunched, fur patchy, hands ending in claws and human fingers fused together. They dragged people away, one by one. The screams didn't last long. Farid watched as a woman was forced to her knees before the Rodest cat. One of its mouths opened and exhaled. Not air, but rats. They poured into her mouth, nose, eyes, burrowing inside her while she convulsed. Her skin bulged, then split. When she stood again, she was no longer human. Her jaw hung loose. Her eyes were black pits. She joined the others without resistance. Farid understood then. The Rodest cat was not just feeding. It was reproducing. Days, or weeks, passed without time meaning anything. The survivors changed. Their bones softened. Their teeth sharpened. Whiskers sprouted from their faces. Hunger consumed every thought. They were fed scraps of flesh and gnawed bones, and soon they stopped questioning what they ate. The tunnels whispered constantly, a chorus of chittering voices repeating a single command deep inside their skulls. Serve. Gather. Spread. Above ground, the infection began slowly. A nearby city reported unusual rat behavior. They moved in perfect lines. They attacked together. Cats fled or were found dead, their bodies hollowed out from the inside. Sewer workers disappeared. Children went missing near drains. Hospitals treated patients with strange symptoms, scratching sensations beneath the skin, compulsive chewing, dreams of tunnels and a massive purring presence calling them home. One night, a security camera captured something climbing out of a storm drain. It looked almost human. Almost. Its spine was wrong. Its head twitched constantly. A long, hairless tail dragged behind it. When it looked into the camera, its eyes reflected a familiar black shine. The footage cut out as something wet slapped against the lens from the other side. Deep underground, the Rodest cat stirred. Its body convulsed as new tunnels opened, stretching far beyond Kharwood, threading beneath cities, highways, and homes. Its purring grew louder, stronger. The rats answered. The changed ones answered. Even humans, lying awake in their beds, felt an urge they couldn't explain, to scratch at the floor, to listen closely to the walls, to follow the sound of something calling their name. Farid no longer remembered his old life. He crouched in the tunnels now, teeth sharp, eyes burning, waiting for the next command. When the Rodest cat looked at him, truly looked, he felt pride. Purpose. Hunger beyond hunger. The world above still slept. But beneath it, something ancient had awakened. And it was learning how to replace humanity, one tunnel at a time.